Hey folks, want to come on here and shoot another quick solo episode. This is going to be on the concept of leadership, and if you're out there and you're wondering, maybe I don't identify as a leader, or maybe this doesn't appeal to me, or maybe I don't really know, I'm not sure, well, that's okay. They're all normal questions to have. So don't worry, we'll get into it a bit today, especially building on a few of the things we discussed around mindset, around resilience, around excellence, around thinking big, around helping others, around mastering your career, the complex, not excuse me, the complex nature of success, gratitude, bit of entrepreneurship. So we'll get into this whole thing. Super exciting, and yeah, let's jump in. Before I will say one thing before we start. What inspired the episode today is a book by Bill Walsh with Steve Jameson and Craig Walsh, forwarded by Joe Montana. The Score Takes Care of Itself, My Philosophy of Leadership. Here's the cover. This isn't a book for you, by the way, just thought I'd mention it. Aside the back, Bill Walsh is a towering and transformative figure in the history of the NFL. His advanced leadership concepts transformed the San Francisco 49ers from the worst franchise in sports to a legendary dynasty. Prior to his death, Walsh granted a series of exclusive interviews to best-selling author Steve Jameson. These became his ultimate lecture on leadership, illustrated by dramatic anecdotes from throughout his career. Walsh thought that the requirements of successful leadership are the same whether you run an NFL franchise, a Fortune 500 company, or a hardware store with 12 employees. His final words of wisdom will inspire and enlighten leaders in all walks of life. Enlightening, informative, and engaging, it's a powerful book. It is a must-read for executives and managers at every level. Publishers Weekly, The Score Takes Care of Itself is not about football, it's about how you treat people right. It's about how you get the best out of people around you, how to be a highly effective leader. I am thankful that this book about Bill Walsh's leadership point of view is now available to inspire countless leaders to come. Ken Blanchard, co-author of The 1 Minute Manager and Leading at a High Level. Bill Walsh was one of the NFL's all-time best, a creative genius, master at management, and a brilliant student of human nature. The Score Takes Care of Itself is his personal and powerful roadmap to success as a leader, whether in professional football or anywhere else. Terrific reading, tremendous insights. Roger Goodell, Commissioner of the NFL. Bill Walsh's unparalleled insights of the game, combined with his optimistic outlook on life, create an amazing formula for excellence and success, which really talked about those two different concepts. We touched upon the definition. We did a whole episode on excellence, and we touched upon the definition of success a few times, maybe 1 to 4 times, maybe 5 times. This book is a tremendous tribute to him and a fascinating read. Stephen R. Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and The 8th Habit. So I'll get into it a bit. Into 2 separate things. Firstly, again, I don't have a PhD in this, in leadership, but I want to discuss the topic anyway. Just on a very high level before we get into a book. Leadership is the ability, this is on ChatGPT, by the way. We went to Gemini and we came back to ChatGPT. We may go back to Gemini for a bit. We're going back and forth. There is perplexity. There's the Artificial Intelligence podcast on episode 13, the Artificial Intelligence, which is in the top 10 if you want to have a listen. Leadership is the ability, we'll get into it, leadership is the ability to influence, guide, and support people toward achieving a shared goal. At its core, leadership isn't about a title or authority, it's about impact. A leader helps others see direction, stay motivated, and work effectively together, especially during change or uncertainty. Key elements of leadership include vision, setting a clear direction or purpose, influence, inspiring others to follow willingly, not by force, responsibility, taking ownership of decisions and outcomes. Communication, listening, explaining, and aligning people. Integrity, acting with honesty and consistency. Empowerment, helping others grow and succeed. Leadership can show up in many ways, in a workplace, a classroom, a family, or a community, and you don't need a formal role to be a leader. If you like, I can examples of leadership. Just a quick example before we get into the book. Excuse me. Here are some clear examples of leadership in different contexts. Number one, workplace leadership. Example, a project manager noticed the team is falling behind schedule. Instead of blaming anyone, they organize a meeting, listen to obstacles, redistribute tasks, and motivate everyone with encouragement and clear goals. Why it shows leadership, they guide, support, and inspire the team to overcome challenges. Number two, community leadership. An example, a local resident sees a neighborhood park neglected. They organize volunteers, coordinate with the council, and lead the cleanup effort. Why it shows leadership, they take initiative, influence others, and create a positive impact. Number three, educational leadership. An example, a student leader in a school noticed bullying issues. They start an awareness campaign, set up peer support groups, and work with teachers to improve school culture. Why it shows leadership, they identify a problem, motivate peers, and implement change. Number four, crisis leadership. Example, during a natural disaster, a community leader coordinates resources, communicates safety instructions clear, and ensures people get aid effectively. Why it shows leadership, they remain calm under pressure and guide people through uncertainty. Number five, everyday leadership. Example, a parent teaching their child responsibility by setting routines, encouraging independence, and leading by example. Why it shows leadership. Leadership doesn't always require a formal position. It's about guiding and inspiring others. Different styles, which I think would be in Ireland, it's in the junior cycle and senior cycle, I think. In business, I think there's different styles of management or business styles of management, I think, or leadership. It was in the business. I have to double check that, but I think it is. And we'll continue the podcast. Not everyone is from Dublin, or not everyone's from Ireland, excuse me. Absolutely, or not everyone's finished the junior and senior cycle yet. So anyway, it's good, bit of a refresher and maybe a bit more advanced, a bit more deeper dive into it. Absolutely, leadership comes in different styles, and each style shapes how a leader guides and motivates others. Here's a breakdown with example. Number one, transformative leadership. What it is, inspires and motivates people to achieve more than they thought possible, often through vision and personal influence. Key traits, visionary, motivational, encourages innovation. Example, a CEO challenges the company to adopt sustainable practices, inspiring employees to think creatively about reducing waste and improving processes. Number two, servant leadership. What it is, focuses on serving others first, prioritizing their growth, well-being, and development. Key traits, empathetic, supportive, empowering. Example, a team leader spends time mentoring team members, helping them develop skills and ensuring their voices are heard before making decisions. Autocratic, authoritative leadership. What it is, makes decisions independently and expects strict compliance, often used in high pressure or crisis situations. Key traits, decisiveness or decisive, controlling, clear instructions. Example, a military commander directing a mission where immediate decisions are crucial. Number four, democratic participative leadership, in brackets participative. What it is, involves the team in decision making, values their input, and fosters collaboration. Key traits, inclusive, communicative, collaborative. Example, a project manager holds regular brainstorming sessions where the team votes on strategies to meet goals. Number five, laissez-faire, hands-off leadership. What it is, gives team freedom to make decisions, providing guidance only when needed. Key traits, trusting, delegative, non-intrusive. Example, a senior researcher allows their team to design experiments independently but is available for advice when requested. Number six, situational leadership. What it is, adapt style depending on the team's skills, motivation, and the situation. Key traits, flexible, observant, context sensitive. Example, a manager provides detailed instruction to a new hire and gives autonomy to an experienced employee. Quick tip, most effective leaders mix styles depending on the situation. They aren't rigidly one type. For example, a transformational leader might also use democratic leadership to encourage team input. If you want, I can make a simple visual guide. Maybe not. We'll get into the book. Let's go over it quickly. Score Takes Care of Itself is a book by Bill Walsh, which we already went into, legendary NFL coach of the San Francisco 49ers. The main idea is that success results from focusing on the process. We already went into the definition of success, just one more time for people to think it's maybe a dirty word. Definition of success is in the Oxford Languages, or the Oxford, dictionary definitions from Oxford Languages. Success, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Number 2, the good or bad outcome of an undertaking. Success is an achievement of a goal, purpose, or desired outcome. This is ChatGPT, often accompanied by personal satisfaction, growth, or recognition. It can be understood by number 1, personal success, feeling fulfilled, happy, or at peace with your life and choices. Number 2, professional/external success, achieving measurable goals like career advancement, wealth, or recognition. Number 3, social, relational success, building strong relationships, positively impacting others or contributing to the community. Key idea: success isn't just about the end goal. It's also about progress, effort, learning, and growth along the way. And back to the book. The main idea is that, which we talked about, success results from focusing on the process, not obsessing over results. Here's a concise summary of the key points. And we already talked about Number 1, focus on process, not the outcome. Success comes from consistent preparation, discipline, and attention to detail, which we mentioned on the Excellence podcast about detail and about the process of, maybe I'll let you in on this one if you haven't listened, about some daily effort. Pretty sure that's on 37, the pursuit of excellence, key principles. If you're doing everything right, the results, the score will follow naturally. I'm pretty sure that the daily effort's on 37. If not, it's definitely on one of them or 2 of them. You can go back and have a listen to a few of them anyway. The solo podcast, it might be 15 minutes, but I went a bit over, got excited. Just gives me some energy to talk about these topics. Number 2, set high standards, establish clear, uncompromising standards for yourself and your team. Excellence in execution is non-negotiable. Culture starts with standards, which builds on, again, 37. 3, build the right culture. Culture is about behavior, accountability, and shared values. Leaders shape the culture, not just tactics or strategy. I know there's a lot of buzzwords here, so we'll get into something quite actionable. For some, it's buzzwords or just... Number 4, leadership through example. Leaders must model the behavior they expect from others. Integrity, discipline, and professionalism inspire the team more than words. Number 5, preparation and attention to detail. Success is built on preparation, repetition, and relentless refinement. Small, consistent actions compound into significant results over time. We'll get into talking about this concept, another concept, but that's super important message, that small, consistent actions compound into significant results over time. You may think you're doing something and there's no consequence immediately, or you're not getting any sort of outcome in the short term. In the long term, that small, consistent action compounds into significant results. For example, it could be, there's a lot of different things, but it could be reading 1 page a day, or going for a 10-minute walk a day. Well, and you do that every day, or let's just take a little bit, let's just be a little more moderate. Maybe it's week by week, and that small, consistent action could significantly compound over time, or even strength training, getting into that week by week, or even getting into other things. So I just thought I'd mention that's super important message. Small, consistent actions compounded to significant results over time. Number 6, focus on controllables. Don't obsess over external recognition or scoreboard metrics. Concentrate on what you can control: effort, attitude, preparation, and execution. But the key takeaway, I suppose, on the very end of this, if you focus on the process and set high standards, the score takes care of itself. Success is a byproduct of disciplined leadership, preparation, and consistent execution. But if you focus on the process, what I mean by, for me, my interpretation when they talk about process is those small, consistent actions. And having very high standards, setting high standards in those small, consistent actions. So, for example, if you're doing something, not doing it in half measures. For example, you could go for a 9-minute walk. You can go for an 8-minute walk. You go for a 7-minute walk. What about a 10-minute walk? I know There's talk about maybe we'll get into that another day. Maybe get on the podcast, so we'll get into it. He talks about a 10-minute walk. Just remember there. His name's Mark Bell. I think it's 10-minute walk, but yeah, it's not a 9:30 walk, 9:20, 9:45, 9:47. It's those really small, and they may not matter that much, but those small, and that may be too extreme, but it may be like a 5-minute walk rather than a 10-minute walk for some, or a 2-minute walk. So those small, consistent actions of making sure you're hitting that benchmark of 10 minutes, consistent actions compound into significant results over time. Maybe then you'll be able to walk 60 minutes or do 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Start running, start doing 1K, 2K, 5Ks, half marathon. So these things just over time, significant results with small, consistent actions week by week. If daily effort's too much, which I can understand, people have other priorities in life. But yeah, I'm a big fan of daily effort for performance and excellence. However, I understand the concept of week by week. I'm very much, I can be moderate about these things. So yeah, if you focus on the process of those small, consistent actions and set high standards within those small, consistent actions, then the score takes care of itself. They compound into significant results over time. Thanks for listening, folks, and that's about 16 minutes.